Will fans be allowed inside NFL stadiums this season? Will the 6 Chargers fans be able to watch their team at the brand new stadium in Inglewood up to no good? Will all 12 Bears fans be able to be like, the Bears says to go 2-14, and then they tank for Trevor Lawrence? And then they ruin Trevor Lawrence because that's a Bears thing to do, right? So will they be inside stadiums for games this year? This is literally the billion-dollar question. And you're starting to see some plans come together for individual teams. Like the Ravens announced this week that you may see maximum capacity of 14,000 fans inside the M&T Bank Stadium out of 71,000, which, okay. Packers have announced that they will have reduced seating as well as max will be required, which will be good because Packers fans, notoriously ugly. But nothing formally has been announced yet for the Vikings in US Bank Stadium. And that's important as you look ahead now. Removing weeks 1 and 4 out of the preseason, not a big deal. Those were both Vikings home games in terms of the preseason. Now, there has been some talk that they'll adjust things so that every team will get a home game. Doesn't really matter because I don't think if preseason does happen, I don't think fans will be allowed in the stadiums anyway, which is fine. It does matter for the league's bottom line, but yeah. But it does matter for the regular season. Week 1 at home versus the Packers, historic US Bank Stadium, September 13th. So that does matter. That is important. So what do we think is going to happen? All right, so Minnesota is starting to loosen restrictions a bit on non-protest gatherings. But certainly not as fast as other states. I do like that they're being cautious, step by step, blah, blah, blah. By the way, the NFL, it's weird that the NFL isn't going to have a blanket policy on stadiums. I understand they just want to catch as catch can and get as many butts in the seats as possible, wherever they can. But teams, being able to determine their own strategy based on state-by-state rules, I think that's a massively unfair competitive advantage, and will be, for teams who play in states with less restrictive rules. So, let's say the Vikings might have empty stadiums all season long for their home games, but the Bucks will play every single week in front of 60,000 fans. Like, why is that fair? Huh? That doesn't make a lot of sense. Also, outdoor teams will have an advantage over indoor teams, but it's a whole nother rabbit hole to go down, right? But I think there should be a blanket policy league-wide, but that's just from a competitive advantage standpoint. I understand that they just want to get as many tickets as possible, but but also, so the Vikings have 2 things working against them. Number one, the aforementioned, they got an indoor stadium, right? So, remember when US Bank Stadium was built? And then 2016, they're like, oh, these doors could be open. We're going to open the door. They've never had the doors open, right? So I think they're going to have the doors open. I think it does make a lot of sense, as well as ventilate as much as possible. But it's still going to be a major restriction versus open-air stadiums. So the Vikings have that working that against them. Number 2, colder climate. So now the question is, will the Rona make a comeback in the fall when temperatures dropped? No one knows. All right, but if it does, Minnesota will be one of the first areas, one of the first cities with an NFL team to start feeling it, right? So I think that it wouldn't shock me if US Bank Stadium is completely empty this season for Vikings home games. And, if that means that season goes down, so be it, right? And if there's positive data around the state and around the nation, you could start to slowly see fans come into US Bank Stadium. But I think week 1, if I'm a betting man, completely empty. So it'll be basically like a scrimmage in an empty stadium. Kirk Cousins against 80-year-old Aaron Rodgers and the 12-year-old boy, which may work in Cousins' benefit. Well, actually, no, not so much because it's at home, but whatever. But again, if I could have another wager that there will never be 10,000 fans inside US Bank Stadium for a Vikings home game this year, I would probably take it, because if things go positively and things still build up towards the end of the season, I still don't see packed houses. I still don't see a third or a quarter packed house. But again, if that means that there will be a season, all right. But also, I think what you will see is you'll see an uptick of Vikings fans traveling to road games in states that are more open. Also, well, Vikings fans travel well, especially in late November, early December, because people just want to get the F out of Minnesota. They want to get the F away from the weather, right? But say week 4 at Houston, week 14 at Tampa, week 16 at New Orleans, depending on what happens in Louisiana, as well as Superdome is a fully enclosed indoor stadium. Houston can open the roof. I think what you will see, if fans are allowed, going to be a lot of purple in those stadiums. Now, everyone's just trying to scratch the itch. You can still travel pretty freely to a degree. So there you go. And like I said, frankly, if no fans at USB or limited fans of masks means that we get to actually have football this year, fine. Do it. There you go. All right, what are your thoughts? Will there be fans inside US Bank Stadium this season? Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support the work? Pull us on the Venmo. But until next time, Skull, production value.